All right. Welcome everybody to another AWE Nite SF. We're going to get started here in just about a minute. I usually like to let people trickle in, so get comfortable, get your tea or coffee, and we're going to get kicked off in just about a minute. Here, let me go ahead and start presenting. Just a second here. All righty. Cool. Let's get started. Oop, jumping ahead. All right. So welcome everybody. AWE Nite SF. We are back for another exciting show. Today we will be focusing on the intersection of GenAI and XR with Blockade Labs and Kaedim 3D. I'm Patrick Johnson, co-organizer of AWE Nite SF and CEO of Rock Paper Reality, the immersive agency. Before we get started, I'd like to welcome everyone to use the chat function during the show. Introduce yourself, share what you're liking, make some friends, and ask some questions. There will be time for some QA at the end. So for starters, let's give that chat function a try. I really like to get people talking to one another, create a dialogue. We used to have our meetups in person, so we've got our chat now, and it's still really all about the community, making connections, and meeting new people. So question number one in the chat: what city is everyone watching from today? I'm sharing my screen, so I won't be able to see what you're saying, but I hope everybody is dropping in their city now. Question two: how many of you have been to an AWE Nite SF event before? I saw on the invite list, there's a lot of familiar faces coming through, so welcome back. And finally, if you're new, please drop that in the chat as well. Would love to welcome you to the community, and excited for you to have joined. And for those who aren't in the know, AWE Nite SF is part of the Graded Augmented World Expo family and is the world's #1 spatial computing event series. And we support 30 independently run AWE Nites around the world. You can see from the little pins on this screen, we've got chapters all the way from Vancouver to Tokyo. So if you're seeing a pin that is close to you, reach out to the co-organizers or the organizers and get involved. Join a lot of these chapters. Will do events in person. They sometimes need volunteers and support. And so it's a great way to stay connected with what's happening in XR and meet like-minded people. And if you need any introductions, you can feel free to reach out to me at any time. Find me on LinkedIn, Patrick Johnson, and just search Rock Paper Reality. All right. Very excited. It's coming up very soon. This is the Augmented World Expo in the US. It's happening on June 18th through June 20th. I've been going to these for about, 8-9 years now, and they've always been in Santa Clara. This year it is in Long Beach. I'm very excited for this one. I will be meeting family in San Diego, driving up to Long Beach for this show. And I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in person again. This always feels like going back to a high school reunion or something. So if you plan on going to the show, drop it in the chat. Let's plan on meeting in person and staying connected. There's also AWE events happening in Asia, August 27th through 28th in Singapore, and one in the EU in Vienna on October 29th through the 30th. And right now you can get early bird tickets, and they are available. And for the Long Beach show, those early bird tickets are no longer available, but you can use our special AWE Nite code. So that's 24 AWE Nited for 20% off of the rates. That's 24 AWE Nited for that 20% off discount. All right. Last thing just to touch on is the AWE Academy. This is a great resource for those who are interested, have a startup, looking for fundraising prep. There is a course for you. You can find it at awexr.com. And then there's this course that yours truly developed with our head of strategy at Rock Paper Reality, which was a two-day WebAR workshop focused on successful marketing campaigns using WebAR. It was a ton of fun putting it together. There's a lot of really useful information there, and you can access it at awexr.com. Okay, so before we begin, let's just do a quick round of intros of who's going to be speaking today. First up, we have Deanna Bailey, Director of Business Development of Blockade Labs, followed by Charisse Punzalan, Content and Marketing at Kaedim 3D. And then finally, my AWE Nite SF co-organizer, Wen Chang, will lead a discussion on GenAI with both speakers. All righty, y'all ready? Please welcome Charisse to the virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. Awesome.
Hi, Charisse.
Hi, how are you?
Great.
Awesome. So let me just introduce myself. I'm Charisse. I work in content and marketing at Kaedim. And I have a short presentation to show you all, just to introduce Kaedim a little bit. And I'll also be doing a live demo. So let me start by sharing my screen. All right. So Kaedim is an AI startup that has been creating 3D models from 2D images since 2019. Our machine learning and in-house art team combined to deliver production-ready 3D assets 10 times faster. So we've seen 3D as a medium. We've been seeing it used for a wide variety of use cases, from gaming to architecture and even engineering. And our customer base reflects this. We see a lot of cool different use cases for 3D, some that we haven't even heard before. And in today's digital age, demand for 3D is growing very fast. But with traditional processes, we're not able to meet that demand. 3D content takes a huge amount of time and resources, leading to slow production cycles or unhealthy work schedules. And this is why we've built Kaedim. Kaedim was built on a vision to make the creation of 3D content faster and more accessible, allowing creatives to have more time to explore and be creative. So how is Kaedim different? We output ready-to-use 3D assets that you can directly import into your game once it's done generating. We achieve this through quad topology, separate meshes, and our in-house art team. Our machine learning models take images for inputs and are very accuracy-oriented. And we've also built a human-in-the-loop pipeline with an expert team of 3D artists to review each output and make sure it matches your production specifications. So how this works is we first reconstruct the 2D image that you upload into Kaedim into 3D. And then our 3D in-house art team reviews the quality and makes sure that it meets all of the standards to be production ready. And during this quality check process, we've also built in-house AI art tools for our 3D team to make that go faster. And this is how we create these production-ready assets in minutes. And we'd also like to introduce one of our newest releases, which is the Kaedim Game Ready platform. And this helps studios relay feedback and make revisions a lot faster and very frictionless. And I also wanted to introduce a couple of the use cases that I was talking about. So the first one, our focus is in gaming. So we've been working with a Fortune 500 game studio for their game that is one of the top 10 of all time. And during this project, we processed 400 models of objects and props for them. And with their traditional methods, this would have been a 6-month project. But for us, it took 48 hours. So we worked with their technical art team to develop specific guidelines for their generations, making sure the assets fit within their in-house art style. And these customizations can include fine-tuned geometry and custom optimizations like LODs or retopology. We're also supporting another Fortune 500 product design company for consumer goods. And we've accelerated their concept development, design, and prototyping by 8 times over the past 6 months of working with them. So this is equivalent to speeding up the process from 6 months to just 3 weeks. So this has not only helped them create products faster, it's also a more sustainable alternative to creating all of their prototypes for their products. Lastly, we've also helped a small game studio create assets to make their expansive 3D game. So they were able to save a year of time by creating all of the assets for their world with Kaedim, from geometry to texturing to LODs. So this is a bit of a screenshot from their game. And so I wanted to do a quick live demo to show you how Kaedim works. So I'm just going to switch over to the app. So this is the Kaedim app. This is what we call the assets page. Here you can view all of your generations. This is an example of a textured asset. So first we uploaded this image and we were able to get this 3D asset. So I'll just go over a few of them. And to start generating an asset, you'll go over here to the create page. You can choose what type of asset you'd like to create. So I'll start by making a scene and I have an image ready here. Then you can name your asset, add the dimensions, and also choose a generation setting here. So we have 3 to choose from. We have standard, high, and ultra. And this determines the fidelity of your asset, so how accurate it is to the input image that you've provided. So I'll go with high for this one. And you can see that you can also alter the poly count here, the max poly count. And once you click generate, that will then start processing in your assets page. And you'll see that all of the steps are laid out here before it's finalized. So while that's processing, I wanted to give a quick run through of our newest feature as well, which is the Game Ready pipeline. So this is one of our most recent characters that we've made with this pipeline. So first, here we have the input image that we uploaded. And this pipeline features all of the stages that a game ready asset goes through, from the high poly to the LODs. We also have texturing and rigging. So the first step is the high poly geometry. This can go up to 2 million polys, and it starts off with a very high detailed sculpt of your character or your prop. And once that's done, you can either leave feedback or go on to the next step. So this is a very automated process, and it makes leaving feedback a lot easier, going through all of the iterations that an asset goes through during the production pipeline. So here we have the optimized geometry. So this is based off of the first sculpt. And you can see here that the try count has gone down quite a bit. And this is essentially what we call the in-game model, which is what you'll be importing into the game. And here we have an iteration. So you can make as many iterations as you need to during any of these stages. And you can see here my feedback for the previous stage. And then once you're ready, or once you're happy with that iteration, you can start the texturing process. So we wanted this pipeline to be very, very collaborative. So we've also added a way for artists to upload their own versions of any of the stages to kind of interject at any point. So this kind of gives a way for artists to do their own work within this automated process. So here is the texture for our custom styles. For our enterprise customers, we offer custom texture libraries. So with this character, we've used the Kaedim default. So we already have a texture library that we use, but we do offer custom texturing as well. Once texturing is done, then your asset will be rigged, and you can view that by clicking here. So this adds bones to your character and prepares it for animation for games or film. Finally, we have the LODs, which helps with optimization when importing into your game engines. So this provides lower poly count versions of the asset that you see here. So here we have 3 different versions at different poly count levels. And once you're done with that, you can then just export your asset and download it in any of these formats. And with our enterprise customers, we've also built integrations and custom formats for them. So that's something that we offer for the enterprise plan. So I'm just going to go over and check to see if this is finished processing. If not, we can keep going with the Game Ready demo. Or if anyone has any questions so far, this would be a very good time to ask them. All right. So I wanted to show a little bit about how the feedback works as well. Let's see. So this is an asset that's for review. What this means is that it's ready to either be approved by an admin, or you can leave feedback. So it seems like our asset is finished generating, but I'll finish this first. So for this feedback modal, we've thought a lot about how to best give art directors a tool to send feedback for the artists. So here we have this 3D viewer. You can zoom in to any part of your 3D model to then take a screenshot, and you can annotate on the images that you take and send your feedback here. And once you've clicked send feedback, that then goes straight back into processing. It creates a new iteration. So you always have all of the versions of your asset saved here on the platform. And once that's done, you'll go back to this view and you can either approve to texture or leave feedback again. So this is a very streamlined process of leaving feedback and iterating. So we'll go over to the assets page and see how our island turned out. So here it is. You can view the input image by clicking here. So this was the image that we uploaded. And we also have a few tools available over here. So we have the iterate model. Here you can edit your model, add anything to the model if you need to. You can also UV unwrap if you'd like to texture your model outside of Kaedim. You can generate LODs. Here you can input different poly counts, either by try count or percentage. And you can also add colors or different materials to your model here. And here we also have a few automatic texturing options to choose from. So we have image projection, stylized, and PBR texturing. PBR is best for realistic textures, or for our game ready pipeline, we do use PBR texturing for all of the texturing stages. I'm not sure if we have more time, but if we do, I'd like to show how to iterate on this model that we just created. Okay, awesome. So if I wanted to add something to this scene, like a boat, for example, what I would do is I would go over here to iterate model. Then you can upload an image here. So let me just try to do that. So we can upload this image here of a boat. Then we can take a screenshot of this. And circle the part where we want to have the boat in. Then we'll add our edits here in the text box. So once you've submitted that, it will then start processing. And once that's done generating, you'll have a new version of your asset that you see here. So back to the 3D Studio, we have a few other tools here that you can use, like show dimensions. We have a lot of use cases that we've seen for 3D printing or e-commerce that uses measurements are very important for all of the models that they make. So here you can check the measurements, and you can also see the wireframe over here. And all of Kaedim's generations are have quad topology. They're watertight and they have separate meshes. So that's what makes them game ready and very easy to edit outside of Kaedim. All right, so as we wait for this to process, I'd like to give a shout out to our social media and our ArtStation. There you can find more of our work. We'll make sure to share the finished generation after this event. But yeah, if you'd like to take a screenshot of this screen to connect with us, please do. Thanks again for having us today.
And I'm off mute. Awesome. Thanks, Charisse. That was fantastic. Really appreciate the talk and look forward to some Q&A later. We had a few great questions come in from the audience, and we'll get to those towards the end.
Awesome. Thank you, Patrick.
Awesome. Thanks again. Alrighty. And next up, we have Diana from Blockade Labs. Welcome to the stage.
Yes, hello, thank you. You can hear me okay, right? Okay, just wanted to make sure. So let me start presenting. Hello, everybody. My name is Diana Bailey. I am the Director of Business Development for Blockade Labs. Blockade Labs, for those of you who haven't heard of us yet, we're kind of an interesting company. Just along with what Charisse was saying, with these amazing 3D assets that you guys are going to create, we want to corner the market and be the environment in which you create it. So let's talk about Skybox AI and AR and VR for you guys. So what exactly is a Skybox? All right, so hopefully from that, you kind of got a good understanding. I think it's a little difficult to kind of put into words exactly what it is we do, but you just saw it for yourself. So instead of the 3D assets that a lot of the AI industry is focused on, we look for where is there a hole in the market, right? Instead of having to compete with the Midjourneys and Dollies, or even Charisse's company for that matter, what is the one thing that nobody else is doing? And we were able to identify Skyboxes pretty quickly. Now, we were a text-to-image AI company that actually merged with a gaming studio. So we have, those game mindset behind with the power of the AI technology. And so we set out to figure out how we can help all of these designers, game developers, people just like you guys. How can we put the tools that you need in your hands in order to get your product to market? So here's some of the things that Skyboxes can do for you. We're absolutely fantastic at rapid prototyping. We are an out-of-the-box solution for the Apple Vision Pro. Anything in Model 3 and above automatically comes out at that 8K output. Anything you use with Model 2 is going to come out with a 6K output. But as you can see, instead of these 4K flat kind of, lifeless images, we're creating these full immersive 3D 360-degree seamless environments just for you guys to use. So We are the largest immersive art generator in the world. We have made over 10 million Skyboxes. We've had 1.5 million users. And oh, by the way, we only released Skybox AI in February of last year. So we're talking these numbers in just a little over a year, which for us who had no idea about this industry was pretty amazing. Each Skybox is generated in less than 45 seconds. So you understand the flexibility and just the quick iteration that you do with getting your concept down is just never been done before in the industry the way that we're doing it. So our features that we're going to dig into a little bit is, being able to take text prompts, put it in, generate something. You can remix it, you can sketch, you can freehand, you can make it into 3D, you can download depth maps. Our Model 3 talks about that AK output, and then remix your 360 image. So one of the things we didn't necessarily do the best before our Model 3 was realism when it came to AR, VR. And we noticed that, you would just see things that just weren't this good. I mean, you're talking a photo quality 8K output every time with just texting, we're just typing in words, right? I mean, to me, that's just unbelievable. And we talked a little bit about that sketch feature. So here's that sketch feature in action. Thank God we get such beautiful aesthetics because, again, trying to put this into words, I think would just be so difficult. But as you can see, Sketch is one of our best, it's one of our favorite features. You can actually outline where you need things within the room, and the AI is going to create within all of those parameters that you drew. So one of our most latest features is actually remix your 360, and we were so excited to be able to add this. If you have a 360 camera and you can get an image of any environment you want, you can take that, you can upload it into Skybox AI, and you can remix your 360. We just get excited to be able to put the creativity back into the hands of you guys. And so we come up with two convenient methods for you guys to be able to use Skybox AI. The first one is our web app, which you can go to at skybox.blockadelabs.com. And it's free to try. Put in your email, you get up to 15 generations, and you can see for yourself just the power that Skybox AI has within it. We also give an opportunity to have our API. And so, we make this product perfect. If you are an indie studio trying to get a game out, if you're a hobbyist and you just want to create amazing art, if you're the Sphere in Las Vegas and you want to come up with new designs, I mean, we have a solution for everybody. We want to make sure we hit every single person across this industry so that you all have this amazing technology at your fingertips. So if you were to go to the the web app route, these are all the ways that you can download the images that you generate. So again, I'm on the web app, I've got an account, I'm being able to go in, type in my prompts, worlds that I need, and then I can download it in all of these amazing formats to be used wherever I need it to be used. So what are people saying so far? I mean, the results are pretty good. Like we've had, especially since Model 3 came out, the reviews are just through the roof. It is the best business development job I've ever had to work in my life. I have not had to reach out to a single company. Almost all of the Fortune 500 companies, NVIDIA, Meta, Apple, LG, HTC, like they all came to us. And if that just doesn't show you the power of what we're working with here, I mean, I don't know what does. It makes me happy because my job is extremely easy. So our integrations for our API users, these are all the things that we will work with. But I do want to take a second to really think about our Unity plugin, because it is our most advanced feature we have. You know, my son is actually into gaming, and he and I sat down and tried to play around with the Unity plugin. You know, I had to see for myself just how good it was, how effectively it would work, and I was honestly surprised at how easy and seamless it was to get it working. A little too easy, actually, in my opinion, but you know, good for you guys, all the newbies out there, and people like me who have no idea what we're doing. It was actually possible to use it on my first try. So we've also seen with the Model 3, we actually worked with a couple developers who are in our community and came and said, hey, the Apple Vision Pro came out, and by the way, your graphics don't exactly look the best. So we had already been working on this update that we wanted to come out, but you know, we sat there and we said, okay, so what exactly is it that doesn't look good? Is it the quality? Is it the coherency? Is it the size? Like, where are we needing to focus on the most in order to get the best results? And so we had worked hand in hand with the CEO of Passage, which is this next video that I'm going to show you. And he actually helped us design exactly to get the HA results that you need for the Apple Vision Pro to have amazing results right off the bat. So they launched around the same time we did our Model 3, which I think was roughly about 4 weeks ago. And within a week, they already had a 5-star review for their graphics alone. And that obviously made me excited because that's what we want for you guys. We want those 5 reviews. Yeah, so that was, you know, like I said, Passage, they rebranded, they came out with that. I thought it was amazing. I was super excited to see, you know, that they had worked so hand in hand with us and we were able to make something that good happen. And I apologize, just not wanting to go to my next slide. 1 second. I guess we could pause for a second if anybody has any questions. I can't necessarily see the chat, so if you want to jump in before.
Yeah,
nope?
I mean,
okay. We'll just,
go
ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say we could do QA at the end. So if you have any other slides, we can keep on running.
Yep, I'm not done. Yep, I got it. I got it to work. So we're back on. Let me go share again. Sorry, I forgot I quit sharing. So another application we could talk about, and this one was actually on the Quest. So this is called Pillow, and Pillow was a fantastic app. It was actually featured in Forbes. They were one of the first ones to actually come out and use us, and they complained a little bit about the graphics as well. I'm hoping that they've been able to jump in and take advantage of our new Model 3 AK output, but this is just to show you a little bit of what Pillow is doing. Don't need to be that way. If you trust me, I will see one thing for sure. I'm helplessly in love. Can't worry about that. If you trust me, I will see. and I just want to preface on that as well. Again, those were our old graphics. So you're not even looking at the newest stuff that we have. So this is something that our data scientist, our ML guy, was kind of playing around. This is where, you know, we had started getting the idea for Remixer 360 of understanding the things that we can do. And you just gotta love, you know, the infinite possibilities and the way that you can really embrace your imagination right now in a way that we've never seen before. And it's a lot of fun seeing all the different industries that are standing up, because now you've taken something that's so complex and just simplified it in the easiest way and put it in the hands of people to create and just get fun with. I mean, again, this is all coming off of a backyard picture, this entire scene, right? And so something so simple, and yet the creativity just flows so much. And so where we're at right now, you know, we set out to tackle some really hard problems. And what we create, you know, at Blockade Labs, we're not just a wrapper. So we don't grab an AI technology and throw Blockade Labs on it and say, hey, we're an AI company. We actually took Stable Diffusion and we built our own proprietary code on top of it in order to do what we do the best on the market. And so we strive to solve those hard problems. We have our data scientists in-house that are constantly looking at the ways that we can create and innovate. So when we're saying we create 3D, we created it in-house. We didn't grab somebody else's 3D and say it was ours. So when you're using the product, please bear with us, because every now and then things are in production that we're kind of testing to get right. So maybe it might be a little bit funky, but sometimes, or other times, things are just on the money. For example, Model 3, like that has been by far one of our biggest features, as well as Remixer 360. So as you can see, we're getting to the 3D AI environments. Now we're working on different environment iterations. We're looking at what does segmentation layer look like? What do AI agents within the environment look like? You know, we just want to keep getting better and better and better, which is why if you think of things you want us to do, please leave us your reviews and give us ideas, because we want to create the technology that is going to be used by you guys. And so I'll wrap it up there. I will say that on our blog, if you look here at blockadelabs.com, there's a fantastic article written by the Passage founder talking about exactly how to build an app in the Apple Vision Pro using Blockade Labs. So if you guys feel you're struggling or you don't understand, please use that as a resource. There's also other things here if you needed to reach out. And again, you can always reach out to me. My name is Deanna Bailey. I'm also available at deanna@blockadelabs.com, or you can reach Blockade Labs at any of our social media on all the big social media platforms. So thank you.
Awesome. Thanks so much for that presentation. And I can speak from personal experience. Our agency has used Blockade Labs. We've had good success with Blockade Labs. We've included into our pitches. So I highly recommend folks go out and give them a go. They're fantastic. Also love the soundtracks to your all of your promo videos. Got some bangers in there. But yeah, thanks again, Deanna. Cool. So actually, I think at this stage we shall do a quick conversation with Wen, Deanna, and Charisse.
Hi, thank you so much. Both really, really great presentations. So this is pretty interesting, actually. We have Blockade Labs creating the environments, and we have Kaedim generating assets for those environments. So this works out very well. So real quick, I don't want to take up too much time. I think both of you have really important things to share about kind of the future of generative AI and kind of how it relates to XR technologies. But just real briefly, Deanna, very impressive bio, and thank you for your service. Your background, right? You also have some background in blockchain. So and in terms of regulations, in terms of integrating with like legacy systems, here as well, right? We have this very transformative technology that's also now coming onto the scene. I think you have an interesting perspective about how these emerging technologies need to be integrated into kind of our legacy systems, into our existing business models. And Charisse, with your background in the gaming and animation industry, I think you also bring a very unique perspective because you understand kind of what artists and creators went through to kind of create these amazing experiences that we've all enjoyed over the years. And now, once again, we have this major transformation. Both of you pointed out how much your products are able to save a lot of time for creators, right? We shouldn't be afraid, right? We should embrace what these tools can do, right? They empower us. So in terms of just generally the future of this generative AI technology and maybe how it relates to XR, kind of what do you see in the next just year to 3 years? If either of you would like to share, either of you are welcome to go.
Yeah, I can unless you want to, Sherry. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think as I mentioned previously, 3D content is everywhere nowadays and the demand is very high. So I think that for artists specifically, I think that seeing AI as a tool to kind of help you achieve more rather than thinking about AI as a replacement for artists is very powerful, and we can use it to our advantage, especially with the high demand nowadays. And I think for XR as well. I mean, you need so many assets. You need so many 3D assets to create an immersive world. And I think that by using AI to kind of streamline that process, you can do a lot more.
Great. Diona?
Yeah, I agree with Charisse when she's talking about, artists. If you look at it as a way of enhancing what you do versus competing with what you do, you're just gonna come out ahead. And it's the people who look at it as competition that are gonna struggle a little bit, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, AI replaced my job." And it was like, well, no, you just failed to embrace the next emerging technology that was gonna make your job better. But I think if you start getting into artists right, this is where, to me, the intersection of blockchain and digital currencies, NFTs, become a really interesting argument. Because let's say I'm an original artist and I can tokenize my name. And if my name is used on different platforms, maybe for that art that's recreated, I can then get some rewards to it based off of that tokenization of the phrases that are used on platforms. Or if we're going to talk about being able to label something for data. For example, I have a friend who came up with an app where you go in, you generate an image, it pops something up from Leonardo, then you go in and you actually label what the things are within the image, and they reward you with tokens. And so you're seeing, the ability to extract data and reward people, as well as maintain the inherent integrity of where that data is originally coming from. And I think that that's a unique intersection when it comes to blockchain and AI. As far as XR, I think that in the next year it's going to explode. I see it with education. ThingLink, we actually just made it into Forbes magazine this weekend as one of the top 5 AI solutions for schools. And so to be able to bring this kind of immersive content to students, I think it's just going to reinvigorate schools in something that's just been dead for a long time.
Thank you. That's great. So you each have a unique perspective. So in preparation, let's say we have a lot of developers, creators, investors that are our members. And is there a kind of a roadmap, or is there some idea that you as informed people have in terms of what our members should be paying attention to, and maybe what directions they should maybe retrain in, or kind of explore in terms of regarding the future?
Diona, do you want to start?
I was gonna say, if you wanted to, you had it off. I'll let you go.
Yeah, personally for Kaedim, as I showed in our newest feature, we're kind of tackling the entire pipeline, and I think that finding ways to kind of help artists adopt these new technologies better is also something that we're prioritizing. And we also very highly prioritize, the ethics that come with using AI, and all of our data is in-house. That's why we have a very large team of 3D artists. And we've kind of started referring to ourselves as an AI-powered art outsourcing studio. So with this new pipeline, we've kind of been able to use the technologies that we've been using for the 3D generations to further advance the other stages of the 3D pipeline. So I think for the future, it's just, all of these tools will kind of find a way to help artists and, as Diona said, enhance their skills even more. And I think it's just a matter of finding ways to embrace that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think as far as investing goes, well, a couple of things. I'm sure most investors know, but assessing the company that you're looking at and making sure that their entire business model isn't based off of something like ChatGPT. So, for example, if I built something in AI, I say I'm an AI company, but really I'm just a pretty interface on top of ChatGPT, and that's the core of my business model. I'm there subject to anything ChatGPT does. So if they raise prices, if they that could mess with me as a company altogether. So I would definitely say if you're new out there and you're looking to start companies, make sure that you look at a business model that doesn't make you so dependent on one technology alone. Then I would also say that, what exactly does the technology do? There's a lot of saturation in the market. There's a lot of really cool terms. There's a lot of buzzwords. But I think if you could sit down and say, okay, what's the total addressable market, and what problems does this solve? What's the total addressable market? And does this particular thing get there or get it almost there? It could help you really look at what's going to be worth your time and what's not going to be worth your time. I think as far as AI for gaming as well, I mean, Cherise talked about it a little bit, getting into that pipeline. Game developers don't want to leave their pipeline. So if you can't get into that pipeline, you might find it really difficult unless you have the end all be all holy grail AI at your hands to convince them to come over. So you got to be enticing enough, easy enough, so that the game developers want to leave that pipeline, or you need to get into the pipeline so that they have access to you.
Got you. Thank you so much, both of you, for your insight. Super important for everyone to understand. Thank you very much. I want to make sure we have time for questions. I understand we had a few. Is that all right if we see if there's some community questions? Okay, thank you. Pat?
Awesome. Yeah, so let's see if we can get out maybe 2 questions, one each, before we wrap up the show. So let's see. We had one from Nicole, and this was for you, Cherise. She asked, what kind of controls do the artists have to fix or improve something on the models?
Yeah, so in our pipeline that I showed during the demo, we have annotation tools and ways to capture your 3D model from the different angles. And we also have a text box to, add any edits that that you need to make. This is currently in beta, so we would appreciate any feedback. We're always looking for ways to help improve the experience for the 3D artists that are using our platform.
Awesome. And then for Diana, we had one from GeoPogo, and actually a few people I think asked this. Is Unreal coming soon for Blockade?
Well, yeah. So our API does work with Unreal already, just so we're clear. But we, doing a plugin SDK. So we actually want to build something in 3D that hasn't happened yet, and we're kind of putting all of our time and money. And essentially, it's to teach you guys, or to help you guys be able to create in 3D in real time. So as I'm walking through the scene can continue to create in 3D. And we set our sights on it, and we started doing it. We were like, oh, that's not that easy to do. So we want to finish that. And once we corner that, which, hopefully will be the summertime, then we're going to start putting everything behind the integrations, because we know then that that's a tool you 100% are going to want in there. Right now, the best for gaming, if you're outside of AR, VR, XR, rapid prototyping and your MVP, because sometimes you just don't get the same flexibility to maneuver the environment the way you need to in Skybox. It doesn't mean you can't do it in a third party, but again, you're messing with that pipeline. So in the beginning of your project, that's when you're going to want to tackle us. And right now, our API key works for Unreal Engine, so it's there. It's in the documentation.
There we go. Well, cool. I think we're actually still got a little bit of time, so let's see if we can get through these last two questions. So we had one more from Nicole Charisse, and she asked, can you go back a version if you don't like the new version?
Yeah, so we have all of the versions saved on the app, so you can go back to any of the versions at any time, download them, do whatever. You can kind of like branch off and iterate an older version as well, and create a new one. So yeah, we have a lot of options for that.
Awesome. And then for Diana, we had a question from Nicole, and she asked, how much 3D do the skyboxes have? What kind of controls does it have to iterate the colors to match our palette?
So two great questions. The 3D, again, this is kind of in a little bit of a beta. So if you're on our front end, you can control the depth of width of 3D. When you click into the 3D downloader, you can decide how much you want it to be there, and then you can save the DLB file. If you're using Unity, it's a lot more control over it. So again, Unity is our best feature as far as the 3D goes. When it comes to mimicking your colors, so yes and no. If you were to train it a certain way to know, like, it really comes down to prompting. And what you have to understand is we're not Midjourney, so you can't come to us and prompt like we're Midjourney. And we do have some starter skyboxes to kind of help you get there. But ideally, what you want to do is just coin that phrase that's going to give you the exact results that you're looking for every single time. If you have more money, then we can actually help you train a model. So if you're like, every time I say yellow, I need McDonald's yellow, we can help you guys do that. If you don't have a lot of money, though, you just have to try to find that key phrase. If you guys struggle, please, you can jump in our Discord, reach out to sales at Blockade Labs, Diana at Blockade Labs. Let us know what you need, and if we can, we'll be more than happy to try to help you solve it and get you exactly where you want it to be.
Awesome. One last question for Diana. This was from Tom Blake. When will we be able to remix or edit generations in V3?
So soon, actually. We're working on getting ready to release those features. So we wanted to get Model 3 out first. We understood the importance of having that 8K output, especially for the Apple Vision Pro. So now we're actually working on getting those features, and you'll be happy to know, I don't know if it's rolling out next, but the last time we tested Sketch, it was working better in Model 3. So when that one comes out, it's going to be even better. But then within the next few weeks, next month and a half, you should see all those features being updated.
Amazing. Well, I think that's all the time we have, but thanks again. This has been a jam-packed, awesome hour of GenAI mixed with XR, two of my favorite things at the moment. I really appreciate both of your times. It's been super insightful. I know the community has been interested in it as well, and I'm excited for more people to continue to watch the video as well once it's actually pushed out on YouTube and shared. But thanks again, Charisse. Thanks again, Diana. Really appreciate your time today.
Thanks so much for
Thank you, guys. Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Hopefully see you in Long Beach. See you in Long
exactly.
Beach.
See everybody in Long Beach. And
That's right.
Thanks everybody for tuning in for AWE Nite SF. And make sure you go out there, get your tickets for Long Beach, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
AWE.